Okay, so this is the first time I've done a review on anything. I wanted to review my Canon Powershot SX40 HS camera. I'm going on a trip in a few months, and I wanted a camera that could basically do everything, do a zoom really far or a macro shot, or give me some manual control, so I had a lot more control over what I was doing. So I looked at this in Jessop's, and it just turned out to be a really good camera, and I really wanted to get it, so I ended up buying it. And I didn't really feel like I could see too many examples, the sort of things that the camera could do. Like, I had a look in the shop and I tried it myself, and I saw a few clips, but I just thought it would be worth doing a introduction to it. One of the first things I did with the camera that actually really shocked me was I went outside and I leant on a chair in the back garden and I took a picture of the moon. The lens is supposedly the equivalent of a 800mm lens zoom. I don't know how accurate that is, but to be honest, looking at the pictures that I've been able to get, I'd say it's pretty accurate. If you look at the image I've got here, you can basically see all of the craters, you can see the shadows, how they're affecting the moons, and you can really start to see like mountain range kind of ridges. It's a really good quality considering how far away we are, and it's not an SLR, it's not got interchangeable lenses, it's basically the built-in lens can get that far, and I was really impressed with that. And that's including a little bit of the digital zoom that you get at the end of the lens zoom. The second picture I took that I found amazing, it was actually, I was waiting to go up to the Cosplay finals up in London, which I'm sure many people know about, and while I was waiting for the train I saw this spider, and it was wrapping up a bee that it had caught in its web, a wasp, sorry, and I really wanted to get it on a still. So yeah, I went up to this spider, and it took me a long time to get this right. There was a lot of distraction behind the spider because there were parts of the train station behind it, and there was a lot of sky behind it, and actually I was about an inch away from this spider. It probably didn't really appreciate me being that close. Yeah, I went right up to the spider, and it still didn't fill the full frame. I've actually cropped this image, but I ended up using a flash to get the best quality, but it came out amazingly. Like, you can see the bits of webs, and you can see the hairs on its legs, and the sort of Boris Johnson kind of hairstyle that it's got going on, like the pattern on the legs and everything. It was a really amazing quality shot, considering, again, I've just got a picture of the moon and then I get something so amazingly small in comparison. It's just crazy the range that this lens can do. After that, I went on, I was actually on my way out to work, and I went past this sort of dew-covered flower in the garden. I just thought it was too good a chance to miss, so I ran back in to get my camera. Again, very close to this. This is actually, I was probably about 5 inches away from this plant. Most of these pictures I have boosted a little bit in Photoshop just to bring out the colours, but to be honest, the actual originals, the colours were pretty amazing on it too. I went to the Cosplay finals. It's basically a lot of anime, a lot of manga, a lot of films like Star Wars, and a lot of TV actors as well, like True Blood, I think. I could be wrong there, but programs like that. It's basically a big fan expo sort of thing. And while we were there, we went to see a friend of mine. His girlfriend was in the final of the cosplay competition. So if you look at the original image I've taken here, this is how far back we were. So we're pretty far back. I'd say 40 meters. Yeah, this is one of the pictures I got. I actually zoomed all the way in. Obviously, throughout the show, a lot of the lights were down, and it was so easy to just look around the interface and actually set my shutter speed and my ISO and my aperture. It was really quick and easy, and this is what I love about it. It's like the manual functions are so quick to change that it really does help when you're trying to get a decent picture quickly in different light settings. The white balance also, it's very responsive. It does alter depending on, obviously, if you're under tungsten light and then you go out into daylight, you want to be able to change that quickly. The next time I took it out, I went out to fireworks night. So I assumed I wouldn't get very many photos of the actual fireworks, but the ones I did get I think came out pretty well. I did have to play around with the settings quite a bit, and to be honest I didn't have a tripod, and I was just out with my friends, but I did manage to get quite a few cool pictures, and you can see all the smoke and everything, so I was quite happy with that. And I took a video. I mean, I think it came out pretty well. I'll put a few clips on here so you can see them, but the colours come up amazingly. This is one thing that I really noticed, and like, you can zoom while you're filming. When I first read reviews about this camera, people complained about the noise of the zoom, but in all honesty I didn't buy this to be a film camera. I bought it to be a good stills camera that could do film, and I think it did a really good job. I mean, it managed to focus throughout this fireworks video really well, so I was really chuffed with that. Oh, stupid lamppost.
In my game.
I went out last night. This is the last thing that I wanted to cover, because it was really foggy, and I just wanted to see what I could get with this camera. I really do feel like it doesn't matter what the situation is, you can get a decent picture. And where the fog was sort of enhancing all the lights, I managed to get pictures like this, where the light of the sky and then the street lights and the car lights and everything just sort of work together with this sort of fog to blur the background. And I think the effect came out really well. I did find that a couple of my pictures were a bit blurry, but to be honest, I took quite a few, so I managed to get some in focus anyway, and obviously it is dealing with a lot of fog. But actually the issue of focusing, I really haven't had a problem with. It was something someone said when I was reading reviews, that it was too slow, and it's only really a camera that you can use if you're patient with photography, but I really don't think that's an issue. When you're actually setting up the ISO and the shutter speed and the white balance and the aperture, everything like that, it's really easy to do. And if you're not a big photography fan, you just want a camera that you can use on automatic, you can go, and just take pictures of anything you want, I think you'd be quite happy with it. It does help to know manual settings for low lighting conditions and things that you can actually alter yourself. And I mean, I think these pictures show fairly well the quality of images you can get. Yeah, I think it's an amazing camera, and I'm so happy with it. I've seen it quite a bit cheaper than I bought it actually, which was a bit gutting, but it's a comfort to know that it is an affordable camera. I think the average price is probably about £380, but personally, for the range that you get on this camera, the amount of things you can do, and the quality of images that you can get, it's really, really worth the money, in my opinion. Like I say, you can take video, you can take manual shots, automatic shots. You've got the flash that you can pop up and down. The flash doesn't pop up automatically, but it will give you a little bit of a warning to say that it needs the flash to come up. It's got a flip out screen, so if you don't want to have to look through the viewfinder, you don't have to. I tend to vary depending on what I'm doing. When I'm doing things like the pictures of the moon, I tend to use the back screen just because it's pretty hard to balance on a chair, in my case, rather than tripod, but it's pretty hard to balance and change all the settings you want to while you're looking through a viewfinder. So yeah, once you've got your settings set up, you're looking through the viewfinder isn't a problem. I find looking at the screen can be a lot quicker when you are changing your settings. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to mention was the long exposure. Sorry, I keep saying it's the last thing and then I add more stuff on. But I had a bash at long exposure when I was out doing the fog shots. Now it is foggy and I don't have a tripod, so it is a little bit blurry, but I think the long exposure comes out really well. Like I did a 4-second shot with a car going past, and it impressed me a lot. I wasn't expecting the long exposure to be any good because I thought it's a bridge camera, it's not really the sort of thing where you do mess around with long exposure. You know, it's just a camera that's better quality than a compact small digital thing. But no, it really came out well, and I was really happy with it. So overall, I think it really is worth the money, and I would definitely say to go out and get one if you're considering it. I was really happy with it, and it's definitely a step up from the compact camera I had. And you don't have to fuss around with lenses. This lens is so versatile. It's really, really good. So yeah, go out and get it.